on this week's episode of the Final FronTia. My 10-year-old self did not wear pedal pushing. Upper pubes is a crazy phrase.
Oh my God, their snacks are so funny.
I'm going to brush my teeth with alcohol. Like, I've already cast myself as Black Sheldon.
Yes.
So
oh
that
my
is,
God. Oh shit, this is it.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's lovely to meet you. It's lovely to be here.
It's lovely to meet you as well. Welcome to my home.
This is incredible. You keep everything so spotless.
Thank you. Everything is a shower curtain here. It's lovely. Before we started recording, we were talking about cats, and I'm not done with that conversation.
No, let's get back into it.
So I realize this is meant to be a podcast about like pop culture, but we're talking about cats.
This is as close to pop culture as I get, Tia. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I know nothing if it's not about two cats that live in my house.
Right, you've got two cats.
I do have to. Well, I have a cat, and now we have another cat that's like, hey, I probably need to be your cat. So I have a girl cat. She's called Cisco. She came with that name, and she's adorable in my entire life.
Like the singer of
I know
Thong
everybody
Song.
goes like, you really like the thong song. So this is Cisco, Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So this is some deep nerd, Captain Cisco. Yeah, like nerdetry. That my ex-boyfriend gave to me because he's the one who introduced me to cats because I was like, I'm allergic. And he was like, no, you're not. And it turns out that if you just go, no, you're not to enough cats, you're not allergic anymore.
Exposure therapy.
Like people who are allergic to dogs are violently allergic to dogs. People who are allergic to cats can be quite allergic to them, but most of the time you can just go cat by cat and you kind of get a reaction a little bit. And then after you're just used to that cat.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Because I was just like, my best friend growing up had cats and they were, all cats are weird, but they like to eat your eye boogers. So occasionally after a sleepover, I would wake up to a cat tongue under my eyelid, which is like the worst thing for someone who's allergic.
Oh, yeah.
They were depositing dander under my eyelid. Just to be like, see, we're trying to get you into the gang. You're getting jumped right in there.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's intense.
That was super intense. So I didn't realize that I was going to become one of us people who's like obsessed with these obvious alien overlords.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I'd never in my life had a pet before 4 months ago.
Yeah. Amazing.
And now I'm just the most cat person
of course.
ever in the history of anything.
They're just sort of like, we will convert you. And suddenly you're like, I will kill for this cat.
Really?
They haven't asked, but one day they will come to me for this.
Even though they can be, they've got quite the attitude, if we're honest.
But that's probably why we like them. I mean, is there... I do appreciate and enjoy dogs and whatnot, but there's a certain amount of I don't know, cats are assholes in a way where you're like,
yeah,
man, well done. Like, you know what? That's self-esteem and respect. That's standing up for yourself. That's having boundaries. Right now, you're teaching me how to be a better person, cat.
You can see how they became like Egyptian royalty, right?
Oh, yeah.
They just occupy space.
Well, and also even the most powerful man in a room is nothing compared to a cat who wants to have its way.
That is so true.
Right? So at some point we all have to go if the cat wants it, the cat's going to get it. Like the end. Doesn't matter if you're a Genghis Khan. There's still a cat that's rubbing up to you and you're like, okay.
I feel like we could learn a lot from cats in that respect.
Really kind of could. Honestly, you know how they have the videos with the buttons on them, where they're like telling you stuff. They're like tummy or like rub or food or backdoor or whatever. I think at some point when we can understand them, it's like, we've had wisdom for you guys this whole time and we've been trying to tell you.
Oh my God, yeah.
And all you do is point a laser at us, which is our kryptonite.
That is so true. I am, as someone who has never been a pet owner, I've not experienced owning. I shouldn't say owning. They own us.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they are like these, I don't know. I get really spiritual about it, but I feel like they are these amazing guides. Like having a cat in my life taught me how to love better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because especially when she was a kitten and she'd do things and I'd freak out or she'd jump up and claw my arm and then I'd scream and then I'd watch her get afraid and I'm like, what? She's a cat,
Yeah.
And there are things that she's doing where it's we can't communicate. And usually when I figure out what she's trying to communicate, I'm like, oh, it was my bad. She was trying to be like, oh, hey, I like that. Or, hey, there's shit everywhere. Did you go deal with that? Or hey, my water dish is dry. Ugh, and it just taught me a lot more about patience and listening and all these smaller things that hopefully make me interact with people better. And so I'm just like, thank you for coming into my life, because there was no, like, I was just going to be an asshole in love with, like, you know, somebody who was also an asshole, as opposed to becoming like a kinder person who was able to listen better.
Oh my God, that is so profound.
I mean, literally in 4 months, like, you're going to see yourself change because of Brian and Stewie, which are amazing cat names, whoever did that.
Yeah, shout out to whoever made that decision.
That was, I mean, I did, you know, my generation, I'm old, it would have been a Pinky in the Brain kind of situation. That's from Animaniacs. Yeah. I'm like, I'm an elder now, so I can, it's fun now because because of TikTok, like all these kids are like, you know, going, how do you know that song? It's like, because I know the original one that one was based on, or like they're dancing to a song from 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm. All these like new trends.
Yeah, but like it's fun because young people are like, I'm listening to this new artist. And you're like, you may not have heard of them. They're kind of like old school, and it's like somebody from Madonna. I don't, you know, but like somebody was telling me that their niece, my friend was telling me that their niece was like, she said something about Madonna, and their 12-year-old niece was like, who's that? And you're just like, whoa, I'm about to blow your mind, right? Because it's like, so you know who Lady Gaga is. Okay, let's take a little history lesson.
Beat for beat.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, literally.
So it's nuts. I mean, do you have any young people in your perimeter at all? Like the people who are like tweens?
Well, apart from like producer Poppy and Olivia Pope, I don't. I had an incident the other day, and by the other day I mean 2 years ago, where I was like, performing live at a freshers event. So all these like new 18-year-olds.
Yes.
And to me, I'm still doing new music.
Yeah.
But my set list is like Power by Little Mix and Toxic by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
So I suddenly like freaked out, and I asked the staff member, I was like, oh my God, they're not going to know any of these songs. And the response was, oh no, they will, because that's what their parents listen to.
Yes. How very dare you.
Horrific.
Yes, but I mean, and I'm in my 40s. I should be a grandparent at this point. It's like, you know, old Grandma Desiree used to listen to this thing. She used to watch this. It was a network called MTV.
There's still, but everything comes in cycles.
It's
like,
true.
Now the music, I'm sort of like, okay, well, what you're doing right now with your Charlie XCX, who's by the way been around for about 15 years, but like all of this like music feels like it's a big cycle. Like the fashion, like everyone's wearing baggy jeans again.
I mean, everybody's doing like being on In Living Color right now, and like, you know, when you see grunge things, when you see 90, and you're just kind of like, why didn't I save all of that crap that people convinced me was unfashionable, out of date, and should be binned? And then suddenly it's like, oh, I wish I had some of that old tech. And I wish I had some of those old clothes that were made better than the knockoffs that they're making now.
Oh my God, so true. Did you have pedal pushers? Do you know that? Or is that a very like British?
No. I've heard but it's like, were they the shoes or were they the capri pants? I can't remember.
Like
was it the cropped ones? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that moment to happen again because we haven't.
Did you save a whole trunk of those?
I didn't. My 10-year-old self did not wear pedal pushers. But like, I feel like that era is like so close to coming back on, and I'm gonna laugh when I see people wearing like a cropped legging, like socially.
Well, it's one of those like, how far will it go? Will I be seeing people wearing stuff from like, you know, the 90s, like Reality Bites or something? Is it gonna be a lot of like chokers and like pinned hair right here? With like the colored streak, you know? It's just, because like, when you think about 80s fashion, like the big hair didn't fully come back, I don't think. You know, when people were back combing forever and doing this thing with the bangs, you know, that
the
one.
Swoop.
Yeah, like it didn't fully like come back, but maybe I've just missed it. But like, I feel like we had an 80s moment that came and went or something. I can't tell.
I feel like it sort of happened and then like, in a different way. And I feel like that is exactly what we're experiencing now. Like that kind of like cool 90s, which, do you remember that era of like, I feel like, are we allowed to use the phrase? But do you remember when like heroin chic was like a thing? Which is gross, by the way, don't do that.
But like, I do remember I had a flatmate when I'd first moved to New York who like, you know, he was constantly had the heroin chic thing. He'd become a vegan because he lost 80 pounds, not because he cared about animals. But I'm sure in retrospect, he's like, oh yeah, also animals.
Yeah.
But then like, he was always like, he had those sort of low rise kind of, just where you have to shave all of this trail. Like he was constantly shaving the upper pubes in our sink, so that he could wear those pants like start there, like just above the dong.
Upper pubes is a crazy phrase.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the whole trail, the whole love trail was constantly getting like updated and refreshed. And I don't look forward to that particular thing because it's like it's the low rise because it was when muffin tops were invented because people had to account for the fact that they all don't look great in low rise pants.
Yeah, like sometimes people breathe like it's
exactly.
crazy.
Sometimes people have lunch and stuff and we don't all, And then if you're rail thin, then all you can see are literal ligaments and veins right there. And it was just the grossest. I don't know. To me, as never having been a skinny person, there are some times when I'm like, really, it's a bit much. Like, I don't need to know what's happening inside.
Yeah.
I don't need to see your feelings work their way through your body. Where it was like all like, oh, it's a little, go to the hospital.
I do worry that trend is coming back a little bit now, though, with like everyone jabs and like all of that kind of stuff. I was going to say, everybody's got Ozempic or any other version of that. So
Ozempic is made for people who look like me, but the people who are doing it most are people who are already thin, who are just like, but I need more.
Yeah, I feel like it's very like LA.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Everyone's like, I'm skinny, but I need to be the skinny. Like, it's crazy.
Well, there's this whole thing too, like you're not wrong to say that is coming back with the jabs alongside the politics, because when the politics get very sort of misogynist and controlling, so does the sort of body, dysmorphia and the body sort of control of like, let's size everybody down so you're reined in, so you're hungry. I mean, at least with the jabs, you're usually not hungry. Yeah. I don't know what the other side effects are. I'm sure, everybody's like, I look really old or, my labia is drooping or something. Apparently, I don't know. I keep getting these things where it's like, what's Ozempic labia? And I'm like, I don't need to hear what's Ozempic toe. No. What's Ozempic ear? Like, I don't know. I guess everything's just not full of fat now. And so it's hanging, I guess. But yeah, there is a whole thing of like, when we try to control the body, it usually correlates to like societal control, like authoritarian men in charge. And this is how you should look, even though like all we're doing is, I don't know, murdering people.
I mean, I'm so glad you said that because my friends are like sick of me being like, there is a correlation between pop culture, fashion, music, and the politics that we're seeing at this moment in time. And like, it is so apparent to me. Like, do you remember that whole, what we have retrospectively referred to as like recession pop with like the Kesha and the like, I'm going to brush my teeth with alcohol. Like that kind of like, that fake rebellion energy of that kind of thing. I feel like it's happening again. It's the Charlie XCX of being like, I'm party cocaine. Like, that's the same thing. And it all happens in the same process.
I mean, you can always look at what arts was doing at the same time as what politics is doing. And they're riding a similar curve. Like, I don't know how Weimar Republic, the arts are going to become now that we're in sort of, World War III plus. I don't know how many, what it becomes. But I definitely think it's worth looking at and considering how one feeds into the other, because the arts are always at the sort of spear tip of things, and so like people not only go to the arts to kind of process what's happening in politics, but those collective ideas start coming out and being exposed there first and normalized there first for, everyone else to be like, oh, well, this is what's happening. So all of your friends who are artists and all of us kind of go like, oh, especially now when everyone's broke.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I used to make money like 5 minutes ago. Where did the money and the work go? It seems like I'm tired and I'm working, but where's the cash? I definitely feel like a lot of us go like, well, what's the point of what we're doing? And maybe I should have just been a nurse or done something useful or something. But like, this is part of us as a collective conscious processing the sort of like upshift and the, like the upshift and upgrade, like, the new age community is very much like, we're transcending and we're going into a higher dimension of consciousness, but a lot of things are going to have to fall apart and fall away in order for us to go there. So we're going through the suffering that we have to endure in order to come out as a species stronger, right? Which is a good way to look at it. But in the middle of that, it means lots of people are dying and lots of people are suffering.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, artists are never going to stop making art because even if no one pays us, we just have to do it to live.
Yeah.
So we'll do it for free in a field, which I'm sure half of us are right now. But I think it's important for us to all remind ourselves how important we are in terms of framing this entire thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've noticed, you'll be doing material or talking about something in your live shows and you're seeing other artists who are talking about similar things. And then suddenly you're hearing people on the news or in society kind of echoing that to a lesser extent. And it's hard to know where it started, but it feels like, I feel like I was talking about that 6 months ago, or everybody was. And now suddenly it's just sort of commonly accepted that that's true. I think that we have a lot more power than we take into account.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's exactly like, Cabaret came back to the West End and then transferred to Broadway. And there's a reason, almost like a prescience in them putting that back on and understanding the undercurrent of what was happening.
Yeah.
Almost like now you look back and it's almost like it came back as a warning being look at this.
Yeah.
This is this.
Yeah.
And people still haven't fully clued into that because even the narrative about Billy Porter in Cabaret on Broadway and how he was portraying the role and stuff was very tainted with that sort of negativity.
Really?
And,
I hadn't heard about this. What was being said about how?
I mean, a lot of the narrative was and comments that I was seeing on social media was ugh, he sounds like he's in Hamilton. And it's are you saying that because it's a black person playing that role? Or is
and that's the only time you hear a black person speak, sing, perform in something that feels more maybe natural or seamless to what their identity would be outside the show. It's weird because it's we don't all... Not all musicals need to sound like Wicked. No shade to Wicked. It's a great musical. That sort of this is what musical theater is, which most people think of as being quite white.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
And even the whole narrative of Cabaret really conflicts with people criticizing someone for adapting the performance into what is their truth.
Yeah.
I find that quite interesting.
Can I ask you something? I know this is your show and your interview, but how does it feel? Because I'm starting to notice, as an American who's lived here for 11 years now, and obviously there have been plenty of Americans who've come here before, but not necessarily in the same numbers that we're seeing now. It's so funny because I'm am I becoming a conservative? Not really, but that way where immigrants are these new ones aren't like us.
Yeah. Okay.
And every time I see new Americans, I'm these new ones are not like us. I'm you guys, please. They're all oh my God, their snacks are so funny and they're slang. And I'm shut up, blend in. This country is so nice to take us in. We know how ratchet we are back at home, okay? Please do not let them know who we really are. Be on your best damn behavior, okay? Because we're lucky to be here because our home is a bin fire. But now that I've been here for a while, and I can see them coming over because everybody's leaving America and going to places anywhere. And the politics is also coming in this way where I'm seeing the news. Obviously there's so much about immigrants. Half of our, although you live in South London too, right?
Yeah.
Some South London, but now I'm Southeast London. And I definitely, there are some sizable, Christ-size St. George's crosses sometimes that have gone up on flags or otherwise.
Yeah.
And this whole anti-immigrant thing that's obviously been brewing here for quite some time, but how much stronger it's getting and how much actual outside agitation from U.S. groups, sort of conservative groups that are anti-abortion and anti-immigrant that are influencing politics here. And a lot of times I'll say on stage, hey, we love to point fingers at America for what America's doing. Don't forget that America is your closest cousin. And all of the stuff that you're pointing your finger at is already happening in your backyard.
Yeah.
All of those same people have already started here years ago. So don't point the finger at America. Get to work on the weeds that are growing back there because it's bad enough to watch that kind of destruction happening, but we're tied together. So as America goes down the toilet, we are also going down the toilet. And so I wonder how Native Britons perceive that because as, an American who lives here, I'm this is happening right now. Get worried now.
Yeah.
Start figuring out who these agitators are, who these groups are, and don't be fooled into this sort of anti-trans rhetoric because it's only used to break apart liberal groups. That's it. These people do not care who's in the toilet. They care about us fighting each other. And the immigration thing is us fighting each other. The anti-trans thing is us fighting. It's all us fighting each other.
Yeah.
And the same people are getting rich off of it. Like, why do we fall for it every time? Every time. We're watching it somewhere else and we're like, it's a shame. And we're doing it.
Firstly, that was an insanely inspiring and beautiful monologue. And I
mean, you're such an intelligent person, and I know you're an artist, and I know you feel that. And thank you for the comment. I don't want to dissuade you from that because I have to learn to receive praise. But also, I'm just like, what do you think? Because as another artist who is very conscious about this stuff, how are you receiving that in your work or just in your life?
There's the phrase that like America sneezes and the world catches a cold, but
I hadn't heard that, but yeah, it's depressing, but true.
I think actually, like listening to what you were saying, I was like, wait, I don't think that's entirely what happened.
Okay.
Because the shift, like the global shift to the right, I don't think happened because America started it first. Because like thinking back, I remember being like really uncomfortable, like even growing up with like the rise of the British National Party. They started getting like councillors into like areas where I lived in Essex.
And around what time was this when you were starting to feel that presence?
I think I first noticed I was in the car with my dad and someone tried to hand him a flyer when I was about 8 or 9 years old and then looked at me and took it back and I saw there was an England flag on it, but I didn't know what that was at that time.
Is your dad white or presenting? Yeah, okay.
So, like, I didn't realize
so
until
they were
a few years.
Oh, it's too late for you.
Yeah, like, never mind, which is wild. But actually, I remember also, I think it was while I was at uni, don't Google when this happened because it will show my age, but like, in France, there was Jean-Marie Le Pen who started Le Front National, which was like their National Front, like their far-right party. And it was gaining momentum for ages and ages before his daughter Marine, who's actually a racist, bigot, awful person, as was he.
Yeah.
But like she legitimized it. And it's almost like they've got these like extremist parties, like the British National Party, and then suddenly they find one person, put them in a suit, maybe pop them on a reality TV show, Nigel Farage, and then it suddenly legitimizes the whole thing.
Yep.
And that's the crazy part to me because I don't think I've ever spoken about this, but like before, and I've never spoken about it because I thought it would mean that people would say Drag Race was a fix. But I used to work as an assistant producer in television behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working on I'm a Celeb in ITV Studios when Donald Trump was elected and it was on the TV. And I said, well, that really should make us like think hard about what we're doing. And everyone was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, the only reason anyone believes that he's a businessman is because he hosted The Apprentice, because he's categorically not. There's clear proof that he's very
all
bad.
He's done is lost the money that he's gotten and then steal more and then lose that.
Exactly.
Allegedly, for legal purposes.
Allegedly. But like the only reason he's there is because he hosted The Apprentice and kept saying it on TV shows. So I was like, we should really think about that. I've never in my life been made to feel so small by a room full of people. I was shouted at, I was put down. That was the last job I ever did in television. I decided to go full-time drag and earn £120 a week and starve. Like, I was like, that's it. I can only do this version of myself now.
Wow.
But still, ITV put me on I'm a Celeb, thanks.
Yes.
And like
I would love to eat bugs for you guys.
It'd be so fierce. I love it. But then, like, years later, they ended up putting Nigel Farage on the show. And I was like, I told you.
Yes.
I said.
Do you think anyone was like, remember when that kid said that thing?
No. Because, like, I mean, they don't even remember because I actually did go in for an interview for I Was Celeb and the woman that I sat next to for 7 months said, hi, my name's something.
Lovely
and you were
to
like,
meet you. Mate.
I was like, I literally,
you
my
shouted
boss.
at me 3 separate times.
So many times. Love you. But it's crazy. Like, it is crazy. The shift has always been there. And it's like right there in history that I think everyone thinks the Nazi Party started the rhetoric, the negativity towards like trans people, Jewish people, people of color. No, what happened was globally, everyone was just anti-Semitic out of this chatter that was happening.
It was wild when you read old books and it was just like everyone's anti-Semitic. Like everyone, it's just what we're doing.
You can't move in that time period.
It was like liking Beyonce or something. It's just everyone did it. Like,
everyone did it. Like the characters, like an evil character was actually just like written as a Jewish stereotype. Like that entire time period. And what happened was instead of like aligning with them, we ended up being like, oh no, probably something about the economy or resources. Let's take them down.
Yeah. And
That's
then
what
later it's
happened.
like, we were so noble and we were, and our hearts were just, we couldn't believe this was happening. It's like, no, you couldn't believe it cut up to your pocketbook and then you really had to do something about it, which is how we're able to watch what we're watching currently unfold. I mean, how many times have you gone to yourself in the past 2 years? It's like, remember when we were in history class and we would ask ourselves, how could they let something like this happen?
Yep.
And every single day we're letting it happen, going, I don't know how to make this from not happening because even if I could retweet and repost everything, but my government is still fueling this.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what I determine my government to be, it is true. The statement is true, is that we are absolutely fueling this. And it's interesting to hear you. I thank you for being so insightful because obviously as an American, we always we don't necessarily know what culture is happening outside of us. So you're saying basically this is like every other amazing British to US transplant, like The Office or shit. It's like it started here actually. And then you guys were like, oh, that's interesting. And then we rebranded it. It was like, and then everyone's like, did you know that there was a British Office?
Yeah.
You're like,
it's kind of that. I feel like it's kind of that. We were talking about cats.
That's how every important political discussion begins. I don't know why they don't start the UN meetings with just cats.
They should. It would definitely calm everyone the fuck down.
Yes, it really, really would.
During the world wars, Mama, there was going to be civil war in the UK. And the only reason why there wasn't was because we got distracted by global things that were bigger and scarier and that we had to participate in.
Yeah.
And I'm very conscious that that's kind of what's happening now. That almost the only way to stop all of this from happening is for us to be like, look over there. We got to get involved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's part of the reason why everyone is like, this Three-Eye Atlas thing has definitely got to be aliens. We are so hoping for salvation in the form of some outside contact that will keep us from the worst of ourselves. Because I know that's all, it's definitely Independence Day and all the other alien movies, but it's whether it's a common interest, a common enemy, a common something, we need to be able to kind of come together as humanity. I mean, I don't know how much you get into the whole paranormal world, but the whole thing with all the alien visitation is usually it's meant to be you guys are about to kill yourselves again. So we're here to distract you or disarm that thing so you don't blow yourself to smithereens because ultimately we are meant to be citizens of the universe.
Okay.
You know, I'm one of these people that I'm look, I've never had any kind of experience, contact personally, but I don't think that all of these hundreds of thousands of people are making up the same thing extemporaneously. And I also don't think that the universe is so small that we're the only ones in it. It would be really egotistical to think that we are so exceptional as a species that we are the only intelligent life that could possibly exist. I think we're only as intelligent as we can't quite find the intelligent life because they're smarter than us and they know to hide from us.
Yeah.
Because if we found them, we'd start shooting first and asking questions later.
Oh, for sure.
So if they're smart, they know to keep their distance.
Are you a strong believer in alien life?
I'm a strong believer that there's a lot more that we don't know than we do know. I definitely think that the odds are against us being alone in the universe 100%. As far as intelligent life. I just think the numbers wouldn't bear that out because we only have a scope of so much of the universe, so far. And also it's every time they find out some new thing, it's low-key mind-blowing. I don't know what to make fully of this information, but when that thing came out a few months ago, that actually the Big Bang Theory was probably not correct because we're in a black hole. Yeah. And we're on the other side. We're inside the butthole. We got sucked through the other side. So the real world is probably over there and we're living in the upside down, basically. That's how I took that information, that we're the upside down. I was like, that tracks.
It's so weird, isn't it? Because that happened and I remember seeing it and being like, oh my God, this changes everything. And then I was like, why? I don't actually understand what it changes.
What to do with this? Well, I sent it to a friend and he was like, well, why do I care? Yeah. And I kind of get it. It's it doesn't change anything. But I'm just isn't it important for you to go that thing we've been told our whole lives? We actually didn't know for sure. And it turns out that was a workable theory, but it's not entirely correct.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which is science can expand in that wonderful way where it's that thing, well, it was pretty good based on what we knew, but now we know more. And so that's bullshit.
Yeah. As if the Big Bang is just something getting sucked into a black hole and that's what started our whole little
and
pocket
meanwhile,
universe.
All these people made millions of dollars off a TV show that's based on a theory that's not even true.
Yeah. Sheldon Cooper's a liar.
Oh my God. What is he? Do you think he's going to do the black hole theory next and come back and do like a reboot?
Wait, but imagine that it's a full black cast, like rebooting.
Oh my God.
And it's called the black hole theory.
All the black, astrophysicists, super nerds. I
love
need that right now. Black and brown, because obviously the one Asian guy got shat on all the time where it's like, he's not cute enough to have a steady girlfriend, but the rest of them are? I'm like, he was adorable. Like, let's get him back on there.
I agree with that. Maybe we should write that.
We should write that. Now, TM, copyright.
Oh, yeah. That's us. I've already cast myself as Black Sheldon.
Yes.
So
oh my God, I love it.
Fully my type. I just read something literally this morning on the tube that like they've discovered that like on a quantum scale, particles can affect, like a decision of a particle now can affect the past of that particle.
Yes,
I'm like,
you can change the past based on what's happening now.
Yeah.
Like, or viewing a part, like it's either like a wave or a particle, depending on what's happening now, and that changes what it was before, at least hour before. Am I confusing myself and your audience? But I know what you mean.
No, these people get it. They get it.
Good.
They probably understand like
far
more than
better.
us.
They're gonna leave it in the comments and be like, okay, here are the 5 videos and you actually need to look at. But that, it is nuts. I mean, I guess part of it is that like when you take it all in, it is a testament to how powerful we all are in all of our actions, which is quite intimidating. Yeah. It's that old, what is it, Nelson Mandela quote, like that you're afraid of, not your own weakness, but like basically how powerful you actually are. What most people are afraid of is actually how much power they have, because it is daunting to know that you have such consequence in the universe, but all of us do.
And on an even smaller scale, it's that like personal fear of failure that is so overpowering that you just don't try that thing. Yeah. Because you'd rather just not do it than be bad at it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, that's why, all of us grownups have like, shadow workbooks that we haven't touched. Because ultimately that's the thing that's stopping you. Like your fear is protecting you from all the things that you want, unfortunately.
100%.
Yeah.
Are you dealing with this kind of subject matter on your tour? No, or is it like completely different?
Only in the smallest possible sense, because I guess I'm trying to get into the place where this is becoming so much more part of the work that I'm doing, because I'm very in this time in my life where, I will tell all of your lovely children, I am 46, I know, 900. And not only during this part of this decade of your life does everything in your body go, peace. It's like, been nice knowing you, I'm out. But, once again, you are going through the same thing you went through 30 years ago in your adolescence, where everything's changing, like you're shifting into what it is you need to be next. And I always talk about it sort of like that part where the caterpillar isn't a caterpillar or a butterfly, it's a sack of goo. And you're just like, it's a whole sack of gooey potential that you're like, this is this is vulnerable. It's awkward. I want to finally be where I'm going, but I also don't know how to get there. And it's also not down to me to determine that. It's like, in as much as time is real in that it is responsible for things coming to fruition. So, you can beat your head against a wall or you can wait for it to crumble, which it eventually will, because all things do. You know what I mean? So I'm in that place now. And this show, The Golden Wrath, is a lot about, it's a lot about perimenopause, because it's a thing that half the population's going through and none of us were told. And thank God for social media, so someone could be like, hey, you're not dying, even though it feels like you are, from 20 different directions at once. God. And also, that time of being in the middle of, I don't have kids because I love my disposable income. But, I have parents who are all sort of, on their way out. They're graduating in one respect or another, and it's a hard thing to go through, where you go like, okay, I'm saying goodbye to members of my family, and also the people who were kind of in front of me, who were blocking me from the eternity that I now have to face straight down the barrel of. Like, I have, if I'm lucky, as much life as I've lived, but realistically, living to 92 is not a thing that most people do, right? The average age is something like 76. So what am I doing with this time that I have? If I had any plans on like, well, one day when I finally grow up, like it's now, like, the world needs me to be what I am here to be now. And what we're all here to be is the truest expression of ourselves, because we're all represent a consciousness that has to experience itself on every single level, right? So this is like, I'm not doing anyone any service by holding that back. but I'm still facing all of that fear and all of that of like, it's all down to me and it feels so daunting, but I'm like, I'm not 12, like I'm grown. So,
yeah.
The show's kind of a lot about that. But, it's a lot of pussy jokes. Can I say pussy? I mean, if we can't say Nazi, but we can say pussy, that's an interesting time.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I really feel like I needed to hear that today.
Good. I needed to say that today, and I needed to say it to somebody who I could tell completely got 100% everything that I was saying, which is great. Do you feel like other people that you know are like this in terms of what they're interested in and how they communicate? Are we all going through this thing right now? Or is it just that we're incredibly lucky to have this conversation today with each other?
I think it's a little of both, actually.
Yeah.
But I feel like people experience things in different ways. I think also for anyone like listening, I also will emphasize that I don't think you have to believe everything. Like, they do not necessarily need to buy into what you're saying.
Yeah,
but it is interesting and important to like understand and listen to other people's views, opinion. Like I studied theology at university.
Oh my God, incredible.
Because I love it. Because I feel like that spirituality doesn't just teach you history, it teaches you the history of how people think and felt.
Yep.
And that is what like religion and spirituality does for me, is like helps me have a greater understanding of how people think and feel at any given moment in the past.
Right. This is such a pivotal moment in all of our histories. And I think that it's like, regardless of what you believe, I mean, like, we can all disagree, but it does take the majority of us to move forward together, even while we're disagreeing on certain things. I think the best that we could hope for, at least personally, I think the best we could hope for from this time is that it helps to bring us together to forge a new path out of this, because there's a lot politically, technologically, and otherwise that could potentially work against us. And right now there's like 5 people who are like, we're going to be, quadrillionaires based on exploiting all of you.
Yeah, grim.
Which is weird, because I'm just like, what do you, like, at some point, the next step of capitalism is death. Like, it is like a cancer. Nothing grows and grows and grows without destroying its host.
Yeah.
Right? So like, the only thing that does that is a tumor, and then it destroys its host. So what is the game plan? Because at some point, the things that are benefiting you are going to destroy everyone, which includes you. Because what happens when there's just the 4 of you all in your individual bunkers?
Oh yeah.
Is that the plan? Is that we're just looking at hanging out underground? Just Mark Zuckerberg and the people he chose to smuggle into his underground bunker.
Yeah, exactly. And like,
doesn't that sound like a whack time?
It sounds awful. It sounds so boring. And like, I don't even understand what they're going to do, because that amount of wealth, like, you can give money to everyone on earth and still have money. Yeah. What are you doing? Who are you handing that down? Because you took it
from everyone on earth, so exactly. Where'd it come from?
Who are you handing it down to? Is the plan that you get to control the future of humanity, but you won't even be here.
Yes.
So like, what's the purpose? Do you think your lineage, you're just raising people to like continually take over and be bigots forever?
And do you have any ideas for, once you control the whole outcome of everyone on the planet, do you have any ideas for how to sustain that? Or do you only have ideas about how to make more money?
Yeah, that part. Just go to Mars. Like, you've got the flight. Just make that happen.
Go terraform it.
Yeah,
enjoy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll watch you on screen. It's going to be so interesting to watch the Mars show.
Leave us behind.
Yeah.
Oh. And the rapture didn't even happen.
I know. I was speaking of Left Behind. It's like all those Left Behind videos, except for like everyone on Earth is like, oh, okay, it's kind of chill now. There's a lot more room, and no one's screaming at me on the street.
Yeah, literally.
Throwing a Bible at my head.
I'm obsessed with the Book of Revelation, but James just said we have to wrap up. So
we have a whole podcast to entertain people, and I feel like you have a format that I've completely bulldozed right through.
No, I mean, the format is talking, and that's what we did. So that's fine.
Great, we did it.
When is the tour?
So I start like Friday on October 3rd, and my first date is in Oxford, but it's basically, I'm coming to a city near you in the UK, if you're watching this here, between October, November, and then February and March of next year. Hopefully in the new year, I'll figure out some dates for North America, although I'm always a coin toss about that, because I'm like, will I be able to say anything Canada, fine. America, will I be able to speak in English and say my opinion this time next year? I don't know. But right now it is a UK tour. I was lucky enough to go to Melbourne when this show started. I'd love to go back to see the rest of Australia.
Gorge.
It's a brilliant place, great comedy audiences. And yeah, I mean, have jokes, will travel.
All I was thinking about that whole time is that you are starting on October 3rd, which is Mean Girls Day, because that's when Katie Heron tells Aaron Samuel what the date is in Mean Girls.
Yes.
And I was like, that's a good day to start.
Oh my goodness. That is a good day. Thank you so much. It was well recalled. Okay.
I love that. Before you leave, we've got a little game that we want to play.
Okay.
And this game will be hosted by the one, the only Olivia, who doesn't have a nickname yet. We have producer Poppy. Maybe Poppy and Popey is
Poppy
cute.
and Popey.
Okay,
I
you're
love
Popey.
that.
Olivia, what's the game? Explain the game.
So we are playing too hot or too not.
Nice.
That was an American accent?
That was an American accent.
Okay, but yeah. Ish. Olivia and I met today.
Suddenly got shady.
Yeah, I have no
We
right
met
to
today.
speak like
So I'm basically going to say two things and you've got to tell me.
Too hot or too not?
Basically, yeah. So first one, the Apollo or Soho Theatre?
Oh,
Ooh.
man. Those are both places that I love. Too hot or too not. I mean, I guess I will say Soho Theater's too hot because I spend a lot more time there. And also when you are in that main space and the show's about to let in, it is a crush of people and it is physically too hot. I mean, too not for the Apollo, even though I guess the 364 days of the year that I'm not there.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good rationale. I feel like the intimacy of Soho Theatre as well is like quite nice.
Yes,
like you get
it
like
is.
more.
Yeah, it's great that it's stacked up there. It's great that they like want you to be in the space. Come sit here and work. Come find it's really lovely.
Right, I've got another one.
Oh,
Yes,
number 2.
please.
The Apollo, Mock the Week, or Have I Got News for You?
Oh, okay, classic panel shows.
Okay, I would say Have I Got News Too Hot?
Okay.
And Mock the Week Too Not. I mean, only because one exists and one doesn't anymore. But also it's great. Like I did not realize, I didn't think that a British panel show would take in the US, but it's great to see Roy Wood Jr. Hosting that one over there and this one still continuing over here and like seeing that can be franchised. It's just nice to see like American audiences be interested in that format. It gives me hope, especially for a lot of comics that I know over there who could use that kind of work.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's another UK to US transplant that's been successful.
But eventually the US will believe that they started.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
they will be like, oh, there's a British one? Jesus.
Right,
Every
next
time.
one. I've got another one. Here we go. Catherine Ryan or Catherine of Aragon?
Oh, this feels like, I feel like this is targeting me personally.
Totally. I mean, come on, Catherine Ryan, too hot. I mean, have you seen her? Catherine of Aragon. I don't know enough about history to know. Was she one of the wives?
She was Henry VIII's first wife.
So,
Sorry.
okay, the first one.
They were
Was
married
that-
for 24 years. I think, if I'm not wrong, she was the first wife, but she lived longer than all the other ones. So she survived.
Yeah. She outlived all the other ones being like, well, of course he murdered you. You were never real because we're still married. Of course he divorced you. We're still married.
Yeah. I mean, at one point he divorced one of them and legally declared her his sister, which is so weird. Very quickly, fun fact about my existence. Technically, I named Catherine Ryan's dog. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
You can't just drop that and leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It's got to
all.
go onto the Wikipedia pages.
Okay, crowd work or crowd surf?
Oh, too hot crowd work. I mean, I don't necessarily do loads of it, but I enjoy it more. I don't trust motherfuckers.
No, they
Can I say that? I do not trust these people. When people are like, nope.
would never.
Nope. I mean, also, I don't weigh like 98 pounds. Like those people are just going to, some people have the pretty privilege or the like cool privilege. I'm the kind of person that I would be like, I'm going to jump and everyone would be like, whoa. And I come up with like 3 fewer teeth.
I see like a lot of drag queens do it at Heaven, and I've also seen several drag queens be dropped onto the ground. Not worth the risk.
Not at all worth the risk. And also, you're definitely gonna get like a finger you can't identify.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sorry to go there, but that's just real.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right, last one. Taskmaster or Live at the Apollo?
Oh.
Mate, both of those are fun, really fun to do, but I have to say that Taskmaster is too hot. That's probably the most fun I've had on television.
I watch it every time and I'm like, this looks like the best time.
It is fun. One day you will do it and it is ridiculously fun. Like, it's just the only way to do it is to absolutely, like, unapologetically be yourself in every single choice.
I've got a full plan. If I ever make it onto Taskmaster, I've decided the outfits. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also enjoy doing your whole wardrobe design and everything else, and just enjoy being there. But like, I remember when I was doing it, and I was like, I knew that Nish Kumar is a friend, and I just called him. I was like, "What should I do? You have any advice?" He's like, "Just have fun, because realistically, 80% chance is you're only ever going to do it once. So everything you do, have the most fun possible." And it was the best advice that I had gotten about it and that I've given to other people, because I'm just like, just go in there, be yourself, and have the most fun, because you will walk away with all the memories of like, I'm a person who eats sand before knowing what it is.
Oh my God. Yeah,
because that's how I just need to know, what is this? That's how I know for sure.
Okay, I've got one to end on, if we can. It's on a Taskmaster theme, and I feel like I'm really rolling a dice, and I really hope you get the second reference.
Yes.
Alex Horne or The Secret Life of Alex Mack. Okay, great. We get it. We're there.
Amazing. I do have to say Alex Horne, though, because he is an absolute just doll-faced, wonderful human being and brilliant creator. But yes, I did get that. It's amazing.
I thought it would be too niche, but with that, we're good.
Thank you. I love crawling into the tiniest niche there. But yeah, that was a pretty good call. Like, it's a harder choice than it seemed like it was.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh my God, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. You're such a brilliant person. Thank you for letting me into your world.
You're a brilliant person.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have to grab tickets immediately for the tour.
Please do.
It's happening.
Don't grab tickets. Just tell me. I'll let you in. Come on.
No, let me buy tickets.
I mean, you totally can. Or just bring a friend and make them buy tickets. I love giving friends free shit, and now you're my friend.
Oh, thank you.